Have you ever wondered how you get that lovely cotton wool feel to running water? In order to achieve this lovely kind of cotton wool feel, you need a very long exposure. And very long exposures are difficult to achieve under very high levels of illumination. And so there is a method by which you can cut down the exposure using something called a neutral density filter. So what you need is one of these. This is a neutral density filter. This particular filter is a ×10. The ×10 filter means that when you put it over the lens and it screws onto the lens like so, this now will cut down the light reaching the sensor by 10 times. Although I've put the filter onto the lens, I'm going to take it off again, and the reason I'm going to take it off again, the reason I put it on was to show you exactly where it goes, of course, but in order to focus you need to have the filter off the camera, and it needs to be off the camera because you can't see through a ×10 neutral density filter. So with it off the camera, you're now able to put your lens onto manual and focus on the scene that you're about to photograph. You also need to find out the correct exposure for the scene that you're photographing, and you do that also without the filter being on the lens. Having looked through the camera system and worked out how your metering system works, work at about 1/30 of a second, I would suggest. Once you've worked out your focus, you now need to consider the exposure for the scene that you're photographing. Working manually, I would suggest that you work around about 1/30 of a second. Now 1/30 of a second with a ×10 neutral density filter increases the exposure by ×10, and therefore 30 seconds at whatever aperture you've chosen at 1/30 of a second will be perfect.